Hey, fellow Pride fans, I'm Dennison, and Orlando just had the big win, 1-0 over Washington, and I want to talk about it. So I'm gonna try to keep this. I'm gonna try to shorten the videos a little bit more, keep it brief. I'm also gonna separate it into different parts. First part's gonna be what Orlando did well. Second part is what we could have done better in. The third is going to be what we've learned. And for this game, there's going to be a little fourth part of what was the referees doing. So, with that, let's get started. So, what did Orlando do right in this game? The obvious early score. Score early, put put the other team on put pressure on the other team to score, come back. And that was great to do against Washington because Washington has proven that they're not a team that can come back from behind and win. And getting that early score was huge. Another thing was pressure. Got to keep pressuring them like we did. Keep always have somebody in their face. Last game was always McCutcheon pressuring. This time we had a rotation of players. Always had somebody in the attacker's face, which caused them to miss passes, which causes turnovers, which caused the beautiful Banda Bandit turnover that created the goal. So that's something we need more of. Another thing is Morche's first start, beautiful. Uh, I like what she's doing. She's not afraid to come out. She's not afraid to pressure the attackers. So she's, you know, she gives them, puts the attackers on a clock. So she got tested early in the 8th minute. Rodman, beautiful pass to Kouassi, who was right in front of Morche. Morche pressured her, got the, blocked the first shot, and Kouassi got the rebound, tried to put it over and Morche, used her height, jumped up, grabbed that ball off the air. Beautifully done. And, her reaction time makes a difference. Rafa, big wall. Everybody did, stood their ground. Defensive pressure was amazing. So now let's talk about what's uncomfortable. Let's get to the what we didn't do as well. So despite the great win, what can Orlando improve on, or what could have done better in this game? The first is the most obvious, is finding way to keep the ball a little bit longer, keep possession, control, build up, because since we weren't able to actually hold the ball or build up slowly, it was more clearances. Washington ended up with 73% possession in this game, and it showed. We're constantly defending. Did a great job in defending, but a few of those were just luck, and we can't depend on luck like that all the time. One example is we could have done so much better against set pieces, specifically against headers. As you saw in this game, Washington won every aerial battle in the box, every single one of them, and all of them from also set pieces. The ball always found their attacker, and you know, Morche came up with a beautiful save on one of the headers. Another one was hit off the post, and but the others were just, they didn't get it on target. If they did, it could have been a completely different story. So we need to improve. Cannot let teams just beat us in the air like that. One way of doing that is making sure that Morche has a clear path. Washington made sure to keep a wall or people on Morche during these set pieces, so she couldn't come out and just claim the ball. And we need to make sure that she can do that. So that's one major thing that we need to improve on there. Other than that, another thing that we need to do is, been talking about it for a long time, and this game showed it again. Build up the attack. We need to control the ball and build it forward. There's only so many times that we can send the ball forward to Banda, and this game's shown that once they get a good defender on Banda, which they did, Tara McCann did a great job covering her, and it just would send it forward, and the ball would be right back, and our defenders had to do all the work again. So that wasn't working out very well. So that needs to change. That needs to improve. That could have been something that we could have done better in this game, and hopefully do better going forward. Now, what did we learn? We've learned that Orlando does not give up. I mean, we probably already knew that, but we know that, it's when one, after three straight losses, the team could have deflated. They didn't. They fought hard, and they're going to keep on fighting. Another thing that we learned is that I think Morche deserves more starts. She deserves more opportunities. I'm not saying she's replace Morehouse completely, but I think Morche should get a few more starts. Maybe give her the Utah start. Maybe even the next game after that. See where it goes. The scary thing about that is that these next two games, like I said, these three games are going to define where Orlando goes. One down, two to go. And we need the wins. So now, is it risky putting these games in the hands of a goalie who just played only one game all in Orlando jersey? She did extremely well, and it's risky, but I do think that she should get at least a few more starts. Another thing that we learned, or we probably already knew, but is that McCutcheon. I mean, we know how great she is. Let's get that out of the way. But her in the wing is a place that we need to play her more often. She does, she won't be. She's not one of those fast wingers. She's not gonna, break through. But she always finds that right place to be and the right person to feed to. And we need her to get up there as fast as possible, and in the wing, that's probably the best position for her. I'm not sure if she was there because Sully Washington was injured, so maybe that pushed her to this, more to the wing position instead of being in midfield where she kind of normally is. But I do like that we kept her in the wing, and I think that's a good position for her. Another thing that we learned is that I think Ovaya deserves more being a build-up person. Get her the ball in midfield. Let her hold the ball as she did in this game, because that gives our offensive players time to move forward. You know, the banda is a, when it works, and there's no way to argue on that. But a lot of times, teams already know that that's coming. Now, having somebody like, get the ball to Ovalle and have her hold the ball, try to, pull defenders towards her in the midfield will open a Banda, will get McCutcheon, up forward quicker to get her the ball, get a Doyle open, or whoever we have up there, get them, in open position and pass them the ball. Now we have two attackers, three attackers coming in instead of just Banda. So that worked, and I hope we keep doing that more often. Now, something that is not really the team related, but it's something that affected the game, and I think it's important to bring up, at least in this game. I'm not somebody who usually blames referees. I think most referees are just, most of them call down straight. They're trying to do the best they can. It's a tough job. I get it. But 11 or basically 12 minutes of stoppage time, where did that come from? I don't understand what happened there. That was very, very shady in my view. Orlando fought hard, defended those 12 minutes. Great. And for at least one of those minutes, we were, one man down. That was another thing that was a little bit odd. I know there was new rules. I understand that there's the new rule that, you have 10 seconds to get out. If you don't, then the reserve cannot come in. But I didn't see Ovalle like slack off. And when she came out, it seemed like she came out in the right time. And, having us one man short for a minute because of that didn't seem right to me, especially late game like that. And Luana had to sit out there and just, wait it out. Even the announcers kind of said that they never even really seen that rule enforced that much. And that situation, that timing, enforcing it was a little bit odd. To me, it didn't seem like, it took long for the substitution to happen. But I don't know. There was some shade there. Glad Orlando fought through it, fought hard, kept the shutout. But that was something a little bit, shady a little bit there. So really quick before I go, there was another thing that was discussed in the Facebook group, which I thought was very interesting. I would want to brainstorm, come up with ideas of how to be, the better 12th man in the stadium. How to really, really show our appreciation, show our support live over there, especially this upcoming Utah game, which is very going to be extremely important. And we want to discuss it. One of the places you can always discuss is going to be, of course, in the comment section here. Also, live on Loud and Proud Orlando has their stream around 7:30 ish today, Monday, at least when this video gets uploaded. So let's all pop up over there, talk about it, brainstorm, come up with some ideas. Probably later this week, also, I'll make a video talking about what ideas are liked, and hopefully we can come up with a plan and just bring the energy, make it a real home field advantage, make it hard for Utah and our home, and just be that force, be that extra uh, 12 man on the field there. Until then, vamos Pride.